Hello, everyone. This is Creatorcon Q&A, episode 133, with our return guest, Kevin Eastman. As you know, he's co-creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, among many other things in the industry. He's a pioneer in the indie comics world. How are you? Thanks for coming on.
Oh, absolutely awesome. Thanks for having me on again. Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
So you got a lot of stuff coming up in the future for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some great announcements and stuff. You have the new movie by Seth Rogen coming out.
Yes.
You must be excited about that. Is this going to be anything related to Last Ronin or the regular continuity or?
The Seth Rogen project is something that was is being run completely and totally through Nickelodeon. I've not seen or heard anything as any part of it. It's one of those um, projects under an individual auteur. Seth Rogen had an idea. He brought his team to bear, and Nickelodeon has control over it, so they're seeing it through. I'll be one of the fans in the audience when it comes out. If I see anything before, I'd be excited, but otherwise, that's the cool part of all things Turtles when you hand over the project to, say, Kevin Monroe in 2007 or Ciro Neely for the 2012 series. I mean, you really get a vision from somebody that wants to tell their particular version of the Turtles in a story. So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
You're a fan that'll have his name in the credits though, but so when you is it exciting for you to see like different takes on it, or do you as a creator kind of sometimes go, oh, that's not really the character, or I mean, not to put you on the spot, but
No, no, it's one of those things. Growing up as a fan of comics and so many genre things, I guess comics in particular, that there was always a different creative team coming in and sort of doing their spin. Say something that Stanley and Jack Kirby started would then be carried on by, say, Chris Claremont and so on. And so there were always different art teams coming in. And in particular, my favorite comic, Daredevil, I was a big fan of the original, Bill Everett and Wally Wood and those stories. And Gene Colan, when we finally, Frank Miller arrived on the scene, that was just such a, what a wonderful take. So there's some versions you like more, some you like less, but if you love the characters, you love them all, just at different degrees. And the same applies for the Turtles in that, there's some turtle concepts that it's not the way I would have done it, but I love that that's what they saw, and that's the way that they creatively wanted to take it. So yeah,
do any
it's fun.
story
It's a lot of fun.
do any storylines or stand up in your mind as far as like maybe shining representation of the characters or?
Well, to me, the first Turtle movie was always the best. The Steve Barron and writer Todd Langdon and Jim Henson, of course, that was, to me, was the perfect storm of all things Turtles at that time. The black and white comics and the cartoon series and things that really blended wonderfully together. The 2007 Kevin Monroe, I mentioned earlier, that movie I thought was beautifully done and wonderfully executed and had a great story. 2012 series, and I guess it's. Um, yeah, those particularly stand out as some of my favorites of the and the entertainment side of all things Turtles.
Alex Sarabia, an artist I represent actually from Mexico. Mr. Eastman, greetings.
Hey, hi.
And Corey, Mr. Eastman, the man who single handedly shaped my childhood and my part in attempting to create comic art to this day. Rally says, hello, gentlemen. Now, I wanted to ask you, Corey actually brings up a good point. You've always been a humble person. You're a fan like the rest of us. How does
Absolutely.
it feel, though, when people approach you as that celebrity and say, you molded my childhood in some way, or you helped start my art career, you know?
It's such a wonderful thing, and it for a long time it took me I had some difficulty with it, only in that that's the kind of thing that I said to guys like Jack Kirby and John Sever, people that really inspired me. Those are the Frank Miller, those are the things that I said to those guys. So I could never switch that role and put myself in that um, the role that I kind of the pedestal that I put them on. But after a while, you sort of I came to the acceptance of the realization that if whatever inspires you, if I happen to be that or any reason that that you are inspired to do something creatively, whether it's writing or music, or even an athlete, whatever inspires you and creates that passion in you, and that obsession to do it and do it really, really well, then that's such an awesome compliment. That's I'll take it, and I'll thank them, and then blush and be like, oh, it's still hard to take it, but it's a wonderful thing to say, and it means a lot to me. I've been now 40 years in the business, and some of those young people that were 6 years old reading Turtles, and now 40 years later,
Exactly.
and, successes in their own right. So
Glenn says hi.
hey,
And Will Playden says, love your work, Kevin. Great expression, energy, and your style.
thank you very much.
Now, Last Ronin was a New York Times bestseller. I mean, the book is just getting rave reviews. It's across mediums, not just in comics. And November, we're looking at something else coming out.
Yes, no, and that's and the accolades and the wonderful things that have come out of Last Ronin, I really it solidly instills in me the concept that if you are very, very passionate, and you work an idea not to create something you think the fans will like, but you create something that's story driven and something you want to read. It sort of takes us back to what Peter and I originally envisioned. We didn't think anybody would buy the first issue of the Turtles, so we wrote a story that we loved and that we wanted to read, with nobody else in mind, but to write it for ourselves. And that was the approach that we took on Tom and I on adapting Last Ronin, that original idea that Pete and I had into the story. So the fact that it worked just reminded me that be true to yourself and write for yourself, and it just as easily could have failed. People could have hated it. But we created a world that was very intense and very dramatic, and very a great foundation to tell some other stories from. And that was within that creation process where Tom and I would come up on an idea or a location or an opportunity or character, and you could see beyond that one scene that we put in Last Ronin. You could see 4 or 5 or 6 other opportunities to tell a great story behind that. And that was the first idea was what's coming out in November, which is called the Lost Years, which is basically it's the period from when Michelangelo goes to Japan in issue 4, realizes what's happened, and then basically goes on this journey for 16 years before he returns to New York in issue 1 of Last Ronin. So it's that Lost Years 16-year period of what happened to him, and that fills in that gap. So it doesn't affect anything within the structure, but it's a great story within the structure. So yeah, that's pretty exciting that we have that, and we've got some other ideas to continue the Last Ronin universe, and as those stories come together and we're happy with them, then we're gonna move forward with them.
Now that obviously the Last Ronin, you introduced new characters, and going forward you'll be introducing more new characters.
Yes.
Which leads to Rally's question asking what inspired Jennika. I thought 4 Ninja Turtles are cool, 5 is great.
Well, I appreciate that, and thanks. That was both Tom Waltz and I are big fans of strong female characters. I tried to bring a female turtle into the mix back in 1997 with the Next Mutation, with a character, a female turtle, Venus, which was not received very well, and it does seem in retrospect like it was kind of forced on people, as opposed to what we did with Tom's idea for the character Jennika. She was created as a foot assassin in issue 51 of the IDW Turtle universe, and we fell in love with her as he built her out as a character. We fell in love with her as a character, and then we saw by 10 or 12 issues down the road there was potential that this character could evolve into become part of the turtle family and evolve into a female turtle. So that was the dream, and that was the concept. And as we got closer to it, it really felt like it made the most sense because it fit as a story. I think that's why Jennika worked, and so we're thrilled to have her part of the family.
Are there any plans for the new character going back to Last Ronin, Casey, having anything solo or doing anything more with her?
But I'd like to very much. She's going to be a big part of. She'll have a presence in some flashback sequences, or flash now sequences, I guess I should say, in in Lost Years, and then she'll be have a pretty important and specific role in the Last Ronin sequel, when that evolves and that comes together. But we it's one of many characters that have evolved and came out of the Last Ronin. She was the idea of her was brought in from us from the very beginning, and I'm very happy how that all came together wonderfully.
I had asked you the last time I interviewed you, but I don't know if in the last couple of months anything's changed. Any talks for an animated Last Ronin series or Netflix or anything like that? Or
Well, it's really it's the ball's in Nickelodeon's court, in that I know they've got a number of things planned, on all things in the Turtle universe right now. I know entertainment wise, a lot of the team's focus is around Seth Rogen's project, because that's it takes any animated project, you're talking potentially 3 years from idea to start to completion. So it's we're looking at, I believe they're looking at 2023 for the release on that. So I think they're looking at other ideas. And Last Ronin, we have talked with them, and just if it was, and not that they've said they wanted to do anything or not do anything, but they love the concept. We felt that doing it as as an animated, edgier animated for an older audience, much like they did the Turtles Batman um,
right.
crossover, or going back to even the Dark Knight, when they adapted Frank Miller's Dark Knight into an animated 2-part project in year one and things like that. So it's a lot of discussion, but nothing serious.
I'm
You know,
sure action figure line, everything, it's all going to come into play. I mean, it's been received so well. Um,
yes,
I,
thank you.
I mean, and then the various variant covers that you've had, there's hundreds of them.
Crazy.
And that's the thing that's wonderful when a book has, I mean, over 130,000 copies sold, which is really high.
Yep.
It's employing people. You're employing artists. You're putting money in the industry. You're creating new readership that maybe wasn't there before, or bringing people back that maybe left for a while. So that's wonderful when things work out.
Thanks.
Um, Everybody asks you who's your favorite turtle. I think everybody knows by now, but who's your favorite villain?
That's tough. There's some, I immediately, when you go in your first instinct, your first impulse, and Shredder, of course, is being the first one. It's much like Michelangelo, even before he was named Michelangelo, being the firstborn. Shredder being the first villain was would be at the tippity top. But at the same time, Krang, he was an Utrom in the original series, but as he evolved as a character Krang in the cartoon series, and there's some pretty fun stories and some pretty interesting things done with that character then and throughout, the turtle history and turtle universes. So pretty fun stuff. So I'd go with Shredder first, and Krang definitely a solid second.
And the turtles are one of those properties that it goes into the kid-like aspect of things. It's well loved. It goes into the dark, deeper stuff. It's well loved. You're kind of hitting both, all age groups with this, which is obviously part of its success. And you always stay humble, which is wonderful.
Thank you.
You're also, but as you're doing these, you're doing other projects as well. I don't know if you can discuss them besides turtles.
Sure. Mostly, Turtles takes up most of the time, but I have a creator-owned project. My fellow co-creator David Avalone, and series artist Ben Bishop and Troy Little. We have a project called Drawing Blood, which we started as Kickstarter in 2017. We did a second one in 2019. We're finishing that now. Last Ronin took up a big chunk of our creative time on finishing the second part of Drawing Blood. But it's a 12-issue series with a few one-shots in around that Drawing Blood universe. So that's the main focus. I'm keeping a foot in both Turtle Worlds and Drawing Blood World, and there's a few other things I'd like to do creatively, but right now it's having too much fun in the Turtles world. So Drawing Blood and Turtles are my focus right now.
Cool. And you're also on Whatnot now, correct?
Yes, yeah. With Kevin Eastman Studios, we have a fan website, which is, besides letting fans know where we're going, what shows, upcoming shows and events, and just bits and pieces of news and behind the scenes. We sell stuff, and we have our own auction site. But we partnered with Whatnot, and we're doing a series of regular auctions, just reaching out to a larger fan base for something that we can bring, which is a lot of times rare and hard to find turtle items for the bigger audience. So it's fun, and Whatnot's been a tremendous partner. So we're excited to continue that relationship with them.
And are there exclusives through Whatnot as well? Like you can only get it there, or
No, there's certain items that there's certain items you can get through Whatnot, but there are, we still have our website store, which we
right?
offer a full range of unique T-shirts and designs and stuff that we do just for there. But in the future, I think we'll have some items that will be done specifically for Whatnot. But right now, it's we sort of similar material on both locations, but just building out the fan base and the marketing base, and reaching people that might not go to the Kevin Eastman Studios website yet.
Facebook user said King Eastman. Glenn says he loves your work.
Thanks, Glenn.
Rally, I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle TV shows. If Last Rolling will make it into TV show or movie, please make it rated R. I don't think he has the say over that, but
that would be the dream. That would be the dream. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know we got to wrap up, but Terry said, hi, Philip. Hi, Kevin. Hope you're having a wonderful day.
We are having a great day. Thank you.
I know you have your circuit to do. Thank you so much for your time. You're always welcome back. We've done this 4 times now. It's always great to get to speak with you.
Yep.
As an indie creator myself, a lot of people talk about other creators in the industry. I mean, you and Peter did it when it seemed impossible. So I mean,
it was a right place at the right time. Like like so many things that sort of everything falls into place the way it's supposed to, and it's almost like we didn't have control over it, but we're lucky for it, and it's great to be continued doing it. And yes, I'd love to keep me coming back. We get a regular fan following on your site, so always great to keep in touch with them and yourself, Phil. And maybe we'll see you out there at one of the shows sometime soon.
Yeah, hopefully at one of mine one of these days.
Cheers. Love it.
You have a wonderful day. Thanks to Courtney, and be well.
Cowabunga, you take care. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks, Phil.
Take care. So that was Kevin Eastman. He does a circuit, so we get about 10 or 15 minutes for the interview. He's a regular on the show. So I appreciate you guys coming out to see it. I was originally going to do a pre-recorded, but for some reason StreamYard didn't pre-record it. It did it live, which just works out because we get to talk to him a little bit. Usually because we don't have a lot of time, I don't do it live just because 10 minutes you can't get a lot in usually. But Kevin's always generous with his time and gives a little more time, which he did today. So yeah, Warren, he's such a nice guy, very down to earth. Courtney is really kind, really great to work with. And go to Whatnot and follow their shows and their auctions, and go to their websites, go to his Facebook page, and check them out. Now, this is my 4th time interviewing Kevin, so if you go to my YouTube channel, Creatorcon event, you can go back and see all of these. This will be up there as well, and you'll see all 4 interviews with Kevin over the past year. And he's a regular, so he'll be back, and this will be able to be seen after this. And like I said, I will be putting up on YouTube later today, so no worries if you missed it, Sean. So yeah, Last Ronin is doing fantastic. They're coming up with more content in November. You've of course got the regular IDW content that goes on monthly. So if you're a big fan, go follow. Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles CGI movie is coming out in 2023. So keep a lookout for them. Lastly, just to let you know, off topic, A Tragedy 3 has all shipped out except for a few people that have not filled out the surveys and are not answering emails about addresses. If you are one of those people, please reach out to me on Kickstarter to get your address to me so that I can send you your books. There's about 5 or 6 people. If you have not received your books by Friday, please reach out to me and let me know. That way we can rectify the situation. I thank you all for your support. Tragedy 4 is coming September 1st, launching on Kickstarter. I hope you signed up. I hope you back. I hope you pledge. It's getting great reviews. Chuck Dixon, Howard Mackey. I think the writing is solid. The book is solid. A lot of great reviews from fans. So I ask you to please check it out. Also support your fellow indie creators, okay? Anybody wants to drop links in here, go right ahead. We always get to do that. Yes, Terry, you always support. Thank you so much. So we have a lot going on. And tomorrow, I just want you to know, I'm going to be doing a live launch stream, bless you, for John Dexter's new book, which is launching on Kickstarter tomorrow night. So come hang out to my page tomorrow. Give John's campaign a little love as we do a live stream launching it and checking it out. Okay. Other than that, there's so much going on, but we'll leave it at that right now. I'm not going to bore you. Thanks for coming out to watch me talk with Kevin Eastman for a little bit. Appreciate all of your interaction and support. You guys have an awesome, wonderful day. Be well. And I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.